The rapture myth is going to be one of the biggest contributors to global deception in the final days, and not because it's evil, but because it trains people to expect the exact opposite of what Scripture teaches. Here's the truth. Scripture teaches endurance. The rapture myth teaches escape. Scripture teaches testing. Rapture myth teaches exemption. Scripture teaches refinement. The rapture myth teaches removal. Scripture teaches the remnant to stand through shaking. The rapture myth teaches the remnant will disappear before shaking. These two systems are not compatible. Every covenant pattern works the same way. Noah was preserved in the flood. Israel was preserved in Egypt. Jeremiah was preserved in exile. And the remnant in Revelation is preserved through tribulation. Not one of them was removed before judgment. They were protected during it. Now let me show you why this becomes a massive problem in the end times. The moment people believe they will be taken away before crisis, they do not prepare for endurance. They do not prepare for testing. They do not prepare for deception, and they do not prepare for collapse. They sit passively, waiting for evacuation. Then the world breaks. Not symbolically, literally. Economic collapse, ecological collapse, political collapse, social collapse, and the people who are promised escape will feel abandoned and confused. They will look around and say, "This was not supposed to happen. Why am I still here?" That emotional fracture creates the perfect psychological opening for the beast system. Because when people feel betrayed, they become desperate for certainty, and the counterfeit will offer it. A leader with answers, a system with solutions, a path that looks peaceful, and a government that promises order. The rapture myth will make millions run into his arms because they will no longer trust what the scriptures say because they misunderstood. They expected removal, they will get exposure. They expected evacuation, they will get a crossroads. And the Codex says the exposure phase always reveals allegiance. Revelation is the global version of that. Now let me show you something even deeper. The rapture myth blinds people to the abomination axis. They will not recognize when the counterfeit authority rises because they are convinced they will be gone before it happens. So when it does happen, they will see it as part of the solution, not part of the deception. This is how the abomination becomes acceptable. This is how the beast becomes believable, and this is how the mark becomes normal. This is how the world bows without realizing what it is bowing to. The rapture myth is not just a mistake, it is a setup, a theological trap, a psychological trap, and a covenant trap. But here's the good news. The remnant is not caught in it. The remnant knows the pattern, the remnant knows the architecture, and the remnant knows the pulses. The remnant knows the covenant engine, and the remnant knows the exposure cycle. The remnant stands through the shaking rather than collapsing under it. The remnant is not removed, the remnant is preserved. Not absence, protection. Not escape, endurance. Not evacuation, elevation. Judgment never targets the faithful, it targets the disorder. Your job is simple: stand in covenant, reject the counterfeit, and recognize the architecture, and do not fall for the myth of escape. The ones who endure are the ones who overcome. That is the promise, and that is the pattern, and that is the architecture of the covenant.